The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus came down with the 12 and stopped at a piece of level ground, where there was a large gathering of his disciples, with a great crowd of people from all parts of Judea, from Jerusalem, and from the coastal region of Tyre and Sidon, who had come to hear him and to be cured of their diseases. Then fixing his eyes on his disciples, he said, "How happy are you who are poor! Yours is the kingdom of God. Happy you who are hungry now, you shall be satisfied. Happy you who weep now, you shall laugh. Happy are you when people hate you, drive you out, abuse you, denounce your name as criminal on account of the Son of Man. Rejoice when that day comes and dance for joy, for then your reward will be great in heaven. This was the way their ancestors treated the prophets. But alas for you who are rich, you are having your consolation now. Alas for you who have your fill now, you shall go hungry. Alas for you who laugh now, you shall mourn and weep. Alas for you when the world speaks well of you. This was the way their ancestors treated the false prophets." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Happy are you. Sounds very nice. When Jesus says, "Happy are you," when he directly tells you and me that happy are you, how happy we feel. But then he says something else after that. So when we start reflecting after that, who are poor, who are hungry now, who weep now, we are sad. So it's not our case, we think, isn't it? Where do we get that happiness now? Where do we get? It's a story what you hear quite often. So it is a traditional way of saying also, dogs, they have their happiness where? In the tail, in the tail. The small puppy started telling the bigger dog, "See, so I have found out from my small experience that my happiness is depending on the catching the tail. So it is in the tail. The day I catch it, so I catch it, then that is the perfect happiness." The elder one, the dog, tells, "Yeah, I also heard this. So I also had same opinion earlier, idea, but afterwards I changed my opinion." So when we go after this happiness, after tail, then it goes running far away and far away from me. But when I go on with my business, it comes behind me. That is the best way to go about. Yeah, sometimes. So we have different ideas of happiness. So we are not running after that. But then, so when we seek that is the happiness, that is in the tail, then, so we may not receive that. Dr. Harold Treffert, a psychiatrist, so he has written an article, The American Fairy Tale, so in which he has given 5 dangerous ideas about the meaning of happiness. 5 dangerous ideas which we hold on. Many of us practice. It's not the American fairy tale, but then many in the world, so it is globalization. So we accept them. So because it has come to many of us, so we start thinking about it. The first one, the happiness is things. So when we have lot of things, when we have collection of things, amassed a lot of things, when you accumulate more and more things, then we are happy. Are we sure? Not sure. When we have a lot of things also, we are not happy. Maybe that particular moment we may feel some type of happiness, and after that we lose that. So the second, the dangerous idea is that what you do gives you happiness. What we do gives us happiness. So that means, so what we produce, what we earn, so then only we have happiness. That means those who don't produce, don't earn, so that they don't have happiness, is not true. So we find there are people who don't do things, but then still they are wonderful, they are happy, most happy. Third is the dangerous idea is being same as others is the happiness. So when I have same things what other one has, so when I start imitating maybe fashions what others have, so when I start having that the same, otherwise I start feeling jealousy, I start comparing. That one has, I don't have. That person has this and I don't have. So then I lose my happiness. When I have that what that person has, okay, so I feel happy. Maybe for time being. Then I start looking at the other person. That person has something else. Oh, sorry. So I lose my happiness again. The fourth, the dangerous idea about the happiness is the mental health. We think the fewer problems we have, so we are more happy. So it does not happen. So we lose happiness if we have some problems, we have difficulties, we have hardships. It's not true again. And the last one, the fifth, is happiness is communicating with electronic gadgets. So quite often, so we have the present world, so we have this. The more you can communicate with the gadgets, maybe television, TV, so maybe with the internet, maybe the mobiles, the best ones, the computers, so that means you have more happiness. But we think it's not true. That is why the title says the fairy tale. It is only a fairy tale. It's not true. So what is true? Jesus gives us the answer. Those who are poor, those who are hungry, those who weep, so they will have happiness, blessedness. How? Just take the first one, what Jesus says. Blessed are those who are poor. So what he says by poor? Those who have nothing, those who are depending on God. So the poverty, when we depend on God, so everything comes from God. That means it is a blessing. All the riches that we have, so all that we have, all of us have, little or more, those are the blessings from God. And therefore, Jesus does not speak against the riches, but then he speaks about the attitude towards those riches. So if all those are coming from God, that means we are depending on God. And that is what the first reading is telling. Trust in God, putting our trust in God, not in the human persons or in the worldly things. It is trusting in God. All that we have, so to be thankful to God for all those, and then so we also depend on him all the time. Because God is our treasure. It's more than what we have. It's God who is providing what we have. So that helps us in order to find trust in God. Quite often, so we look for something strong in our life. Safest security, strongest security. Insurances, so when we have insurances, we start comparing with that and this. So how many categories? How many? These. Oh, so this is better. This has 12 and this is only 5. So I think this is a better one. So we go for that. The strongest and the safest, whether it is insurance with life or whether it is medical insurance or any other insurances. We go for the strongest one. So we put the trust in that, so that they will be safe. In their hands, in that company, we will be more safe. So that is what we feel. Jesus is telling the same. And also the first reading is telling, put your trust in the Lord. When we put in our trust in the Lord, so that is the best way of receiving happiness. Mother Mary also is in her Magnificat. So she praises also the same thing. God raises the lowly ones. The mighty ones are cast down. Hungry are filled with good things, and rich are sent away empty. So that is the way Mother Mary also experienced in her life, putting her trust in the Lord. So it is God who gives us the power. So if we put our trust in the human conditions or in the worldly things, so that means we are seeking power from those things, not from God. Today we want to learn certain things in our life. So as we start our life, maybe daily routine, so how to respond to the challenges in our daily life, to these beatitudes. So many of the saints have taught us. So we may be having a lot of riches, but still when we put our trust in the Lord, so that is the best way of dealing with our things, so whatever we have. Many of the saints have taught this, how we can put our trust in the Lord and seek His help all the time. Maybe that will help us in order to find, so how we can deal with even treat one another, how we can deal with our treasures that we have, the goodness that we have, how we can share, so with the society, in the world, in the parish, how we can do that. So that will help us when we put our trust in the Lord. Secondly, so light a candle instead of blaming others. So quite often we start blaming others. In order to find happiness, so we need to light a candle, the small little thing that we can do in our life. So, third one is taking care. Take care to choose our way wisely. There are two options. The first option is the good one, and the second one may not be good one. One leading to heaven, and the other one may not be leading to heaven. So which must be, so damnation, what we call, is not. So one is helping us to find joy, and the other one, so we lose joy. And therefore, so choose best way, choose the right way, the way of beatitudes, way of loving service, not the self-centeredness, self-reliance, self-indulgence, but rather trusting in the Lord. So today we ask ourselves, which way are we going? Jesus' challenge helps us in order to find the right way, Jesus' way, God's way, blessedness that He is teaching us. May God help all of us in order to find this blessedness in our life, in our families, in our everyday life. God bless you.